And for the information of everyone, we have now 7,031 HIV cases as of June 2011. And the Philippines actually is one of the 7 countries that have more than 25% increase of HIV infection from 2001 to 2009. So this means that a lot of countries all over the world have reduced their HIV infection except for 9 countries. And in Asia, Philippines and Bangladesh are the 2 countries that have this increase. And before, it was only like 10 cases a month in the 90s. But comes 2000 and the end of 2009, 2010, we have around 100 plus cases every month. And every day, there are 6 to 7 Filipinos who are infected with HIV. And talking about the overseas Filipino workers, before the overseas Filipino workers, we have a lot of cases because for OFW, they are mandated to have an HIV test before they go to their respective job abroad, since it is a requirement for other countries. But then right now we already have access to different HIV testing, particularly major cities. And so we also have seen an increasing number of HIV infections. So I am here right now, not because I am an overseas Filipino worker, although I care for overseas Filipino workers because my brother also is a seafarer. And right now he is in Europe somewhere, I don't know, because he is working in a ship. And he knows my status since 2006. So what I'm saying is that HIV is not just a problem of the OFW, of the seafarers. It's not only my problem. It's not only a problem of a certain sector, but it's a problem of humanity because we're dealing with HIV. HIV is a human immunodeficiency virus, and anyone can get HIV, including me, even if I'm a nurse. So maybe I am here because I want to bring the message not only to you, but also maybe to the members of your family, to your children, or maybe we can ask, did we ever in our whole life try to talk to our children about their sexual practices, about what's going on? Are we really aware of what they're doing? Did we prepare them in terms of how are they going to deal with their lives once they have their family, once they have their boyfriends or girlfriends? So these are actually the issues that somehow are not being tackled in a family. And coupled with a lot of factors such as, having a father or a parent abroad, it gives, all of these combined factors where a person can be vulnerable to HIV AIDS. And right now, with YAFA actually, we try to put this organization because we want to build a community and we want to make sure that every young person whoever gets infected with HIV has the support. Because when I was diagnosed in 2006, never that I really had the support, and I was even discriminated in a healthcare facility when I took my testing. So these are some of the changes, and I think this sector, the seafarer sector or the OFWs, they have a say on this. And so I'm just, those are just part of my story. I have a lot of things actually. I've been working in HIV for the past 4 or 5 years. I've been living with HIV for almost 6 years now. And until now, I'm not on medication. But when you look at me, I don't know if someone will say right away that I'm HIV positive. And there are a lot of issues in terms of HIV/AIDS. It's not all about what Dr. Asif told. It's not about behavior. It's not about because you engage in sex or you inject drugs. But it's deeper. There are reasons why people are engaging in sex, and perhaps when we talk about sex is actually a basic need according to Maslow, if you hear about the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And so this is something that we address. And HIV it's a bigger issue. It's an issue of poverty. It's an issue of livelihood. It's an issue of companionship. It's an issue of isolation, of stigma. So there's a lot of things that we can actually talk. But I am here. Maybe I also want to know who among you are young people, 30 years old, 30 and below. If you could stand up. I want to know where are the young people? Who are the young people here in this plenary, 30 years old and below? Okay. Wow. So, I mean, this is our future. And talking about HIV, if you will not prepare them, if they don't have the right knowledge, if they don't know how to deal with HIV, this country it will be a dark future. So I think it's good that we are here to talk about HIV. And with that, I need to continue later on with more stories, and I will transfer, we'll give the floor to Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah, this story I think it's very important to just single out one point. If I want to just catch one point from Hugo's presentation. 1/3 of the new infection that is happening in the world today is happening young people. We must include young people in our program. The young people should be part, anything we do on HIV, they should be part of it. And that's why we are very happy that lots of young cadets are with us, listening to us. I'm sure we can work with them in the future, how we can help them. So now I request Christina, who is the secretary of the organization who supports the HIV positive women. She is also a spouse of the seafarer. Let's listen to her story. Let's she share her experience with us. Christina.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm Christy. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. My husband is a seaman. It's a formerly seaman because in 2003 my husband was had an accident in the ship. He was hit by a pipe. Please allow me to speak in my native language. Pardon me, please. My husband is a seafarer, and he was hit by a pipe, and so in Amsterdam. So in 2003, he was need to be back here in the Philippines. So kailangan niya magpa-opera. So he was repatriated, and then he was operated in the abdomen, and a biopsy was also undertaken. So the biopsy found out that it was tuberculosis. But the accident was in the ship during his travel abroad. So the tuberculosis was medicated for 6 months, and he recovered from the tuberculosis. As you know that tuberculosis can be easily cured. And then, but during the time, the fever still went up, was not able to gain his normal weight. So the doctor counseled him, and there was a pre-counseling conducted during that time in 2003. So one-on-one counseling actually, and that was it took me really a lot of knowledge, strength and knowledge to step here, because I know there are lots of media and taking picture, but please pardon me the picture, and please have maybe I reiterate the confidentiality of this room, because I'm not like Igor was the strength to go out in the media. And actually the doctor, let's proceed to my story. The doctor counseled him, and he was advised to go on HIV antibody test. So I was not there during the talk with the doctor. So he submitted himself to go HIV antibody test. So I talked to him na sana huwag na lang, kasi mahirap din yun, kasi ano yung record yun sa office, di ba? Kasi kapag ikaw asawa, kapag ka rin, kasi alam mo naman na kahit na gano'n na may feel ka naman na yung husband mo is okay, na hindi naman siya gagawa ng kung ano-ano man doon sa ship, but meron pa rin fear doon sa isang housewife. So, but he was, wala na akong time because he allowed himself to get HIV antibody test. So the result was released, and unfortunately it was positive. So he talked to me, and I'm very submissive to my husband. So he talked to me politely na he was HIV positive. So I know recovering from the trauma, and his body weight is very short, and he's only 47 kilos during that time. So I need to be strong, and so that time I just advise him to hayaan mo na yan. So sabi ko sa kanya, ganyan na talaga, wala tayong magagawa wala na tayong magagawa sa kanyang problema. So he also advised me to get the test, but I did not allow him because I negatively opposed, because I know as a housewife, I'm also positive, but based on my knowledge, because I have sex with him, so we already have, because we are very submissive with our husband, so I during that time, because I'm not aware of the HIV and AIDS in 2003, during that time also the spouses are not involved in the HIV AIDS orientation, but right now with the organization of women, I hope I have spoken a lot of women from different organizations involving the spouses of seafarers. So I'm very happy that right now they are more aware of HIV and AIDS. And so in 2000, and I was also able to get tested during that time because my problem is economic liver not able to, if ever I'm positive and he's positive, we cannot provide the education as well as the medication for those who are living with HIV, because the medications during that time are very costly. So in 2007, the Global Fund released the medication was able to be given free to all the HIV positive people. So I submitted myself for HIV test. So I get the result and I'm also positive. Now, right now, I'm in front of you as an HIV positive woman, but I just would like to reiterate the media that I'm still working in the government, and please, I cannot know you know that marami pang stigma in the government, and I know that standing here in front of you might get me somewhat hardship in dealing with newspapers and whatever. So sana po sana maunawaan niyo naman ako. But I know my rights and myself. So I'm also I'm giving myself I know my responsibilities as well. So ang nilalapit ko lang ang advocacy ko, ngayon gabi po ay ako po ay isang member ng Babae Plus, not the Gay Plus. Babae Plus, it's an organization of women living with HIV. So we are not all spouses of seafarers there. We have spouses that are widowed. Widowed na po sila kasi yung seaman na kanilang ang asawa nila ay namatay na dahil sa HIV/AIDS. So we're calling for those organizations who are helping those families who have this kind of condition, that they can provide welfare benefits for the positive women. And I'm also encouraging all the spouses to be empowered and fight for your rights, because sometimes we cannot live with our husband from after going abroad. We just allow them to have sex with us, even though we know that they might say that they are safe, but we just keeping ourselves really and maybe clean. And then I also keep my husband, and with regards to my children,